Good morning. It's mid-July, and I'm going to take, you know what? I'm going to change. I wonder if I can do that while it's going. What should I put it on? I'm going to try over here, okay? I don't know if it does that or it made a difference. Okay. Anyway, it's mid-July and the garden is growing so fast, I thought I would record it. And this is the last of the tomatoes that we planted way late, and I don't see any little tomatoes on them, but they're sure blooming, and they're heritage. I've never had any really good luck with heritage tomatoes yet. Those are called Rose, and then we have Black Prince. I think I had Black Prince once before, um, and it's a really dark wine color sort of tomato. I hope it does something. They're in a pretty good place, and before it wasn't, so maybe they will do something. And I love the white flowers mixed in them. Okay, and this bed to start with had been what I call the chicken bed that had veg and peas and some oats in it. And tomatoes are feeders. I mean, they take a lot of stuff out of the soil. So and when I planted them and I really didn't take out the vetch and the peas. I just cut them down and left some laying. The nicer ones I fed to the chickens. And then we put mulch on top, and then we planted. And so that should be a nice nitrogen-rich bed, plus the chickens, whatever they did to help it. Okay, and this weedy bed here, this is my Bermuda weed bed. Some beds are worse with Bermuda, and this is one of the worst ones. Now it's going to be hard to weed it out because of the vegetation in there. And this tomato here is the one that I continually get the ripe tomatoes off of, and it's the only one so far, but it was the first one I planted.
And I am the chief head weeder. Thanks, so thank you so much. Bye.
Goodbye. Okay, and then this is the second tomatoes that I planted. It has huge tomatoes. I wish I knew its name. I know where I got it, and I think next year, if they turn out nice, I'll do it again. According to nutritional things that are written on tomatoes, the bigger tomatoes aren't the most nutritional. It's the medium-sized ones and the red ones, not yellow. Yellow has very little nutrition in it when it comes to a tomato. And then this bed looks way different because we clipped down the hollyhock. We took out a lot of the fennel, and actually I have replanted, and I hope something grows in there. It's bush beans if they come up. I need to sprinkle that a little bit. Yesterday was very hot, but it was muggy, sultry. Oh, uncomfortably hot. So I want to show you, this is the verbena that I thought I'd killed. And we were trying to pull it out. I had cut it, I'd whacked it way back, and we tried to pull on it so hard we loosened all the dirt in that pot. And then I got the idea, I'd just trim it, cut it, whack it off at the very bottom, and whack off some of the roots, and then just replant over it. Well, as I was thinking about that, it started to leaf out. And so I still have it. And that's my new little sage plant over there. And then I like this bed. This is one of my favorite beds. This is where I planted the new rosemary, and it's doing really fine. I've got a big one And then I bought a really small little variety. I don't think you can see it. And then that's my feverfew. I can hardly wait for it to start blossoming. And then those are the two lavenders. And I really have, there's another one. I think I have, yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lavenders in here, but you can't see them because here is another tomato. Now this one I do know the name. It's called Cayman. It's sort of a beefsteak tomato. I had them last year. I liked them. So I've got 2 plants. And these are collard plants that came up from the mother collards that were growing here last year. And they came up from seed. And so we've been eating some of that, and some of the probably slugs and snails have been eating it too. This little zucchini here, it's a different variety from the others. It's only had 1 or 2 so far ripe on it. And then this is my favorite zucchini over here, and it really produces. I got a nice one off this morning. My peppers are starting to make peppers. They're in there. I'm not going to take a picture of myself this morning. I'm still in my nightie, and looks like a war zone nightie because I get bloody noses, and I'll have to wash the blood off this morning. Okay, and a lavender in here, 2 lavenders, and my Asian basil, and my I've got 2 eggplants in there, and it's making eggplants. I don't know if you can see them down in there, but they're there. And then that is the sunflower, and another zucchini, and some basil plants. This is really, I think, funny. I knew I had planted some broccoli. So there's my broccoli. The last time I took the garden picture, I said, this is my Brussels sprouts, but it looks like a cabbage. Well, that's because it is a cabbage, and it's forming down in there. And despite the bugs that are eating here, we'll eat that cabbage. And this is my Brussels sprouts. And the cabbage will go first. It'll give it a little more room. And the denser you can plant in hot climate like this, the better it is in the garden, because they take care of one another with the sun and preserving water down at the bottom because the sun can't get down and reach. This produces pretty good too, this zucchini. I don't see one that will be picked in the next day or 2, but the other one will supply until this one is ready. Oh, and then one more thing in these 2 beds are my cucumbers. And I have one on each side. This one I picked 2 nice cucumbers off the other day, and it's getting more. These little cucumbers here are apt to sunburn, and a lot of them don't come to fruition, but some of them they are this time. This is supposed to be the very hottest of the 2 days and sultry again. Anyway, this cucumber also is producing. And like I say, my idea was that one would grow up on this side, and this one would grow up on this side, and they would meet in the middle. But evidently, vines like to grow east toward the sun, morning sun, and so it didn't work out that way. Oh, and the morning sun is really beginning to come up. This is our lime tree. It's covered with limes. Limes can get ripe or you can start picking June to October. Some of them start. So this is a little bit later than a June fruit, but in the past, it depends on the year. I just love this tree because sometimes I'll be using fruit, it'll have little fruit, and it will be blooming all at the same time. and it won't be long until I start using my lines. And I do like limes. And then it has so many, I won't be done with the limes before the 2 lemon trees are ready to use up. Okay, and here, oh, the sun is now really coming up. Then back to the comfy bed, and our plans for this, because this bed is too low, and it was a higher bed once, and we took it apart to do something. Well, we're going to put it higher, so that means all these plants will have to be somehow uh, lifted up. They'll have to be redug and put back in, because this bed is really, for old people in their 80s, that's too low. And my grandmother, about 80, had to stop gardening, and I'm sure it's because they didn't have raised beds. So I'm hoping that the raised beds will allow me to have a garden longer. And then the poor nasturtiums in the hot weather, their little leaves have a tendency, they're quite fleshy and succulent, but they really cook in the heat. So it's had a hard time. And that's my lemongrass that freezes down in the winter but comes back every year. Okay, and I think we've made the circle. Another nice basil plant. I use this one the most. I've got 4 basil plants in the garden. And then this is where I keep my garden tools. And Tom made this birdhouse looking thing just for my garden tools. Maybe it's like a little doghouse. I don't know, but I think it's so cute. And this was a big cedar tree that we cut down when we got here because we knew we wanted a garden, and this tree wouldn't have allowed it. And I think cedar trees are wonderful trees where they're supposed to grow, but down here it's the wrong place. I didn't like it in my yard anyway. So it left that even before we really were officially moved in, this tree was cut down. But I wanted the stump because I wanted to put stuff on it around in the garden. So that's why that's there. Okay, I think that's it. This is how my garden grows in mid-July.